Hello and welcome to our newscast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Hwang Jie in Seoul. North Korea's latest cyber attack is our starting point this afternoon. Prosecutors in South Korea have revealed that the email accounts of government officials and journalists working in North Korea-related ministries have been compromised. Connie Kim has our top story.
An email has been sent from what appears to be an online portal website. Once a user clicks on the attached file, it requests a user to change the email password, which is then sent to the hackers. South Korean prosecutors say this is one of the phishing websites North Korea set up to target 90 officials from the Foreign Affairs, Defense, and Unification ministries in the first 6 months this year. Prosecutors say the hackers stole more than 50 email passwords and are looking into whether any state secrets or other critical data was obtained through the hacks. The IP addresses used by the hackers trace back to Seonyang in China's northeast. The prosecution says the hackers are believed to be the same group that hacked into Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power Corporation in 2014, stealing internal data that included plant blueprints and the personal information of employees. The prosecution has requested users monitor login records and change passwords frequently to prevent additional hacking attacks. Connie Kim, ARIRANG News.
Now, the negative news on Korea's trade front continues to roll in, with exports on a downward spiral for the longest period ever now and back to double-digit drops. Kim Min-ji reports.
Korea's exports took another dive in July, extending the downward trend to a record 19th straight month. The Trade Ministry says outbound shipments tumbled 10.2% from a year ago to $41 billion. There had been some recovery hopes after the pace of decline slowed for the previous 2 months, but July's figure is back to the double-digit decline seen earlier in the year. The fall was mainly attributed to temporary factors, such as fewer working days in July, as well as a slump in ship exports. But the ministry says there is a glint of hope.
When excluding temporary factors, the pace of decline in average daily exports in July was the lowest this year, so we believe it has maintained its recovery momentum.
Still, a spike in exports of computers and a slowing contraction in Korea's key export items, including flat panel displays and petroleum goods, wasn't enough to prop up the overall figures. On top of that, exports of ships plunged more than 40% on year due to delays in delivery, while shipments also fell in the auto industry due to slow demand in emerging markets and a strike which negatively affected production. Imports, on the other hand, fell 14% on year to $33.3 billion, also sliding for the 19th straight month. With that, the trade surplus came to $7.8 billion in July, extending the surplus streak to 54 straight months. While the ministry expects export conditions to improve in the second half thanks to the recovering global economy, it said it will closely monitor possible repercussions in the aftermath of Britain's vote to leave the European Union. The ministry added that it will also keep close tabs on the slowdown in emerging markets and vowed to take necessary measures so that export growth rebound to positive territory. Kim Min-ji, ARIRANG News.
Investors will have an extra 30 minutes a day to trade stocks and other commodities on Korea's market starting today. Korea Exchange expects the extension to give a much-needed boost to the country's benchmark index that has been stuck between the 1900 and 2100 mark for years. Kim Mo-kyun has the details.
Korea Exchange has announced Korea's stock and foreign exchange markets and gold exchange will extend their trading hours by 30 minutes from August 1st. The opening time will remain the same at 9 a.m., but the regular session for the stock and gold markets will close half an hour later at 3:30 p.m. Derivatives trading will end at 3:45 instead of 3:15. But Korea Exchange decided to cut 30 minutes from after-hours trading, which will now run from 3:40 to 6 p.m. The latest move marks the first change in 16 years. In the year 2000, the market operator eliminated the lunch hour break. The trading hours of Asian stock markets are generally shorter than other parts of the world, with Japan operating for 5 hours a day and China just 4. Advanced markets such as those in the U.S. operate for 6.5 hours a day, while Britain and Germany's markets are open for 8.5 hours each. Korea Exchange predicts the 30 minutes extension will see an 8% increase in trade volume, raising daily transactions by up to $610 million. It's also expected to help the domestic stock market escape from the box pattern, which the Kospi has been locked in for more than 6 years.
The extension will give investors more transaction opportunities and the chance to make use of China-related products more efficiently. It will also help Korea escape from the so-called Box P.
However, competition with Beijing is expected to grow since the extended hours will allow investors to reflect market information from the Chinese market, which closes at 4 p.m. Korea time. Kim Mo-gyan, ARIRANG News.
Some victims of a toxic humidifier disinfectant made by Oxy Reckitt Benckiser have rejected the company's compensation plan. In a statement Monday, the victims group said the package fails to reflect their opinions and the company is just looking for a quick fix. Under the plan laid out on Sunday, the British-based firm vowed to cover the victims' medical expenses and provide up to $315,000 to the families of adults who died or were seriously harmed and nearly $900,000 for infants and children. And that brings us to the end of our newscast. Thanks for staying with us. We'll be back with more newscasts throughout the day, so stay tuned to Arirang News and goodbye for now.